placing your tongs at right angles. Using the round of your hammer, hit just either side of your centre mark and on the centre mark to create quite a tight toe without bending the branches. Once you finish using the rounded hammer, use the beak to tighten up the branches and make minor adjustments. As you go in, constantly keep the steel flat and free from twists, and constantly assess it as well. It's really important that you keep checking what you're doing and not getting too far away from where you want to be. Straighten out any bends in the branches, keep twisting the steel around. Once you've finished creating the toe and it's probably a little bit too tight, then holding the steel on a part of the beak that corresponds to the toe shape and size that you want, work round so that you safe off the toe. This will also square off the toe slightly and open out your shoe to make the hind foot shape. Mark the toenails using the 1.1/8 rule. Just one firm blow is all you need. Level the shoe and get it ready for the next heat. You can also make any tiny little adjustments, and once you mark your toenails you can also just ensure that you're safe enough. It goes just up to the nail holes without squashing the section. See here, I've just assessed the shoe, checking that the balance is correct, that the outside is slightly wider than the inside. So outside heel forging, basically exactly the same as we do on a front shoe. You're looking for 2/3 off the inside heel check and 1/3 roughly off the outside. Hind shoes can be slightly steeper in your blows, but really a good heel is a good heel, to be honest. So you're looking to just make tiny little adjustments and gradually bend and coax that concave section in. None of your hammer blows should be really hard. So you just rolling the hammer around and keeping the steel moving so that we're never working one part of the steel too much. Any little sharp edges, you can back it up, holding the tongs in line with your steel that you're working as well is really important. You have to play around with your tong position to make sure that you are getting the best. If you do get a little pit on the foot surface, you can just slightly work on that concave section. Assess and just make tiny little adjustments. We're looking to make it round, no sharp edges, no donkeyed heels, nothing that's going to stick out, possibly damage the horse or encourage another horse to catch themselves on it. Your outside heel is finished once you've got no sharp edges. The steel's nice and straight through the branch, and the heel is 2/3, 1/3, and not squashed. Now we're on to the outside branch and nail holes. So the hind shape is very different to a front shape. We've already got the toe set up. Now you've got the branch pretty much in line, holding the tongs from uncomfortable to comfortable. You're just going to place where you want the quarter to be on the beak, and you're going to send the quarter round. You can see it requires a lot less effort than the outside branch from the front. So really, we're not doing a great deal of work between the toenail and the widest part of the shoe. So once you've got the quarter in the correct place and a nice flowing shape afterwards, you want the heel to be in line roughly with the toenail. Put your heel nail at the widest part of the foot, more pitch at the toenail than at the heel nail, and then put your nails between the toe and the heel nails as you desire. If you're going to be putting a lot of nails in there, you generally have to leave a gap where you're going to be forging the clip. Also making sure you hold the stamp the same way as we discussed with the front shoes. And then your pritchel so that you can see what you're doing. More pitch at the toenail, medium, and less at the heel nail. Hind shoes also have slightly less pitch than a front shoe as well, because a hind foot is more upright. Check your nail holes are sweet and forge back down onto them again, just to flatten them off. None of these blows are heavy, you don't want to be crushing it. So now we're on to the inside heel. Again, it's the same as the front. We're looking to create a nice flowing heel shape, 2/3, 1/3, holding your tongs in line again. Work the inside section, and then keeping the section flat on the anvil. Work the outside section so that you're achieving the 2/3, 1/3. Once you've got your heel nearly forged, you can then go on to the safing off. So the safing should start basically where you envisage the quarter finishing, and also just behind where you envisage your heel nail to be. So just keep forging any little sharp edges off, any points, any straight edges, and then keeping the shoe upright on the anvil, angling your hammer blows. One side of the shoe will be a lot easier than the other. And just work it from nothing to the most safed off at the actual point of heel. Then you can back the heel up, make sure there's no donkeys, make sure that you're rounding everything round. Basically, an inside heel needs to be safe in case a horse catches itself with it. Keep the branch straight, keep the shoe nice and clean, and your foot surface should be relatively flat. Taking off any little donkeys that have been created from your last bit of forging. Get the shoe set up, ready to turn the inside branch. So the inside branch and nail holes now, really, it's the final heat that you're looking for with your basic shoe. So again, we're going to place the shoe on the anvil where we envisage the quarter being. Now, relatively speaking, because your inside branch is ever so slightly shorter than your outside, when you place it on the anvil, it's going to feel like you're slightly nearer to the toe. What you're looking for, though, is that if you balance up your shoe on the anvil, the quarters should be in a line. The shape's also ever so slightly straighter through where your nail holes are going to be. Constantly shaping the shoe, checking for balance, line up the nail holes on the edge of your anvil, and make tiny adjustments as you go in. Get plenty of heat here. You can see hind shoes are actually a very quick shoe to make. Then we're going to stamp your heel nail, we're going to stamp the toenail here, and then we're going to stamp the heel nail in line with your outside heel nail, but half a nail hole further forward, and then fill the gap between the toe and the heel nails as you go. More pitch at the toe, less at the heel. Inside heel nail, if you're ever going to have problems when you're nailing a shoe on, 99% on a hind foot, it's the inside heel nail. So more pitch at the toe, less at the heel. One firm blow with your pritchel should cut a nice crisp hole. Check your nail holes, forge them back down ever so slightly to keep the foot surface nice and flat. Make any minor adjustments as well. You can see inside or out. Now you've got the shoe finished. Little adjustments should be possible. So there you have it, your finished hind concave shoe.